All right, good afternoon, folks. This is an Oklahoma Weather Alert. William Cole here live in the Forecast Center, and we are tracking multiple wildfires now across Oklahoma. Again, really as expected, today has been an active wildfire day across Oklahoma, and because of that, again, our team of trackers, they've been out there. First of all, I want to go and check in with Aaron Spencer. I want to get right down to business, and again, this is an active fire here in the Oklahoma City Metro. We also have Mike Russ, who's approaching another wildfire. We're going to talk with him coming up here in just a second. But Aaron, go and tell us where you are right now and give us a live update on this fire.
Yes, William. We are sitting at North Kelly Avenue and East Hefner Road. We're looking at this large grass fire that is out of control. We've been sitting here for about 5 to 10 minutes. We just saw another structure go up as well as pretty high flames. I'm also going to give you guys a little bit more information. North Kelly and East Hefner Road are both closed. So if you're trying to get down that way, they're going to be closed. They're also trying to keep this fire from jumping Hefner Road. We also got that there was one house and 2 vehicles that have burned up. So that's where we're at right now with that. We're definitely keeping a very, very close eye on this large grass fire. We can see just a little bit of the grass here in front of us that has burned up. As you can see, the dark burn scar. But we are definitely seeing a lot of different firefighter crews. OG&E is here, as well as the Oklahoma City Police. So they've got this road all the way down East Hefner Road and North Kelly Avenue blocked. So you guys are not going to be able to come down this way, but we are going to be giving you live updates as we get to them. William, back to you.
Aaron, really appreciate that update. The latest information coming in here to the Forecast Center as well says the firefighters right now they're trying to make a stand there on the northern sides of the fire, and I believe that's the front that you're on there, the northern side, of course, today, and we're actually seeing some black smoke there. So we've only had a report of one structure. It was a house and then 2 cars that have burned up. But of course, anytime you start seeing some of that black smoke, that's a little concerning. But as we're looking at this here, you can actually see how gusty the winds are. So the winds are blowing from the southwest and from the south, and so blowing to the north. So again, this is the front edge of the fire, would be right back in here. And again, that's where the fire is spreading. Aaron, tell me, are you on Hefner Road right now, or what road, just so we can kind of geographically position here? We'll take a look at his live GPS here in a minute as well, but tell us what road specifically you're on.
Yes, William. We are just to the east of North Kelly Avenue.
Is that what road? Is that the road we're looking at right here? What road is in the shot? Is that Kelly Avenue right there?
Yes, it is.
Okay. So again, you can see how evident and how gusty these winds are. Again, gusting 30, 35 miles per hour. Some gusts even near 40 today. And again, you can see exactly how quickly that smoke plume there is moving. And again, the one thing that is concerning is when we keep seeing some of that black smoke there mixing in as well. I want to do this as well. I want to go to Mesoscan radar quickly here just to kind of show you Aaron's live GPS. Let's go back to radar here. And again, this will show you exactly where he is. And again, so he's essentially the northern sides of the metro, his live GPS dot there. And again, Aaron, you can give us your exact location again here momentarily when we check back in with you. Also, like I said, there's also another active wildfire. Mike Russ is on his way too. We're going to be checking in with him coming up here momentarily as well. He's still gathering information on that. But at least right now on the northern sides of the metro, this is at least the most concerning fire that we have. Again, reports are one home was at least engulfed in flames, and 2 cars in this blaze here as well. So right now, the very latest is, again, this is a 20-acre wildfire. At least so far, estimated 20 acres have burned with this. And again, we've been highlighting today and tomorrow, at least really across a good portion of Oklahoma, these being dangerous fire weather days. And what makes these so dangerous, it's the spread index. It's the ability for these fires to spread and spread quickly. And again, on those gusty southerly and southwesterly winds, that's what gives these fires the momentum to move. And again, that's what we're seeing here as well. So Aaron, you're still on the live line with us. Again, we're still looking at your video. Just go and give us another update. Again, we're just kind of taking this moment by moment and kind of play by play as the information is coming in. Tell us though, is this black smoke that we're seeing, or is that just kind of brown vegetation smoke that we're seeing? Because again, if it is black smoke, that could be concerning with any kind of structure that could be getting engulfed again. But give us an update on all that.
Yes, William, that's correct. It's actually a mixture of white and black smoke. Right before the live stream came in and we started going live, we did see a very big wind gust that came through, and then, a lot of black smoke went up into the air. So, I'm pretty sure that another structure that was just behind the one that we're looking at just went up, and then we saw lots of high flames above the structure again. Also, I was just listening in. Logan County Fire Task Force has been called to assist this wildfire here in Oklahoma City. So they're on their way from Guthrie to come up here and again help try to get this fire contained. If we do get any more information, we'll definitely let you guys know. But we are watching this wildfire as it progresses, and all the different agencies from Oklahoma City, and also now, as we've heard, Logan County, they're trying to get this fire contained. Hopefully they can get it contained before any more structures go up. William, back to you.
Hey, Aaron, again, just for the folks just now joining us here on Oklahoma Weather Tracker TV, give us the location that you are again one more time. Tell us again exactly where this is, and also update us on the street closures because it looks like most of the streets, the reports we're getting, are closed around this active wildfire here in central Oklahoma.
Yes, William, that's correct. And earlier, I do apologize. The road we're looking at right now is actually East Hefner Road. So that's the road that we're sitting on the side of, and that's what you guys are seeing on the stream. But it is the intersection of North Kelly Avenue and East Hefner Road. So if you're traveling southbound on Kelly Avenue, it is blocked off right there at the stoplight at East Hefner Road. And then just right after there's a realty department that we're just to the right of us, just down the road is where it's blocked off again down there. So that's the areas that the road's blocked off down here, and also they're going to be blocked off, of course, over on the other side of East Hefner Road.
Okay, really appreciate that update there, Aaron. So again, active wildfire in progress, essentially right here within the Oklahoma City city limits. And again, just like Aaron was reporting a few minutes ago, not only is Oklahoma City on the scene, Oklahoma City Fire Department, but now also the Guthrie Fire Department is also making their way down as well. We've had reports this is about a 20-acre wildfire. Again, latest reports are it is still out of control. Firefighters essentially fighting the northerly front of this fire. Again, today with the winds being from the south, the fire is moving from the south to the north. So again, that's why they're fighting the northerly fringes of it. But again, the other takeaway just from this video here, and it's fairly evident of just how windy it is. Again, because you're seeing the smoke plume and these embers and these particulates, again, blowing across the road. And again, Aaron, did you say what road was this here again that you're sitting in front of there specifically?
We're sitting on East Hefner Road.
Okay, so you're sitting on Hefner, and I believe that was the information we got. They're trying to keep the fire from jumping Hefner, and part of the problem today, because of the gusty winds, it's the fire spread index for one of two reasons. Number one, the wind is energizing this fire, it's moving the fire, it's blowing the fire, but also within this smoke plume, and you can see just how quickly it's moving there, very impressive, there's also embers that are still burning, and as those land on the other side of Hefner Road there, those could easily ignite a new fire, and then the fire keep on spreading there. So that's what the fire officials are concerned with right now, is that this fire may try and jump Hefner. Again, you see Hefner closed right there. That's either Oklahoma City PD or maybe it's the county sheriff, not sure. But again, that part of Hefner Road is closed, and the surrounding roads around this fire are closed as well. But Aaron, I tell you what, it really looks like the smoke is really picking back up. And a lot of times when you're dealing with wildfires, I know that might sound a little basic, but that's really the way you have to gauge them, is how big the smoke plume is and how quickly it's moving. And in this situation, unfortunately, it actually looks like it's been getting a little bit bigger over the last 10 minutes. Again, what are you seeing from your vantage point there?
Yes, William. I'm going to have to agree with you on that. We've been watching this here for about the past 10 to 15 minutes, and it's definitely staying about the same size. It's not getting just a little bit bigger. Again, the smoke is still very heavy, so we're definitely going to be keeping an eye on that. It looks like most of the smoke is starting to get a little bit closer to us as well, so that's where we're at right now with it.
Okay, really appreciate that update there. The other thing I want to take a look at here, I want to take a look at live winds. And Mike Russ, he's also on a fire out around the Hinton area. We're going to have live video from him coming up here momentarily as well. And again, unfortunately, again, as we've been talking about for the last several days, the fire danger, not just today, but really especially tomorrow. Tomorrow, to me, even looks a little bit worse. Just not good. So again, we're dealing with this fire danger here over the next several days. I want to go back to the weather computer, and I want to take a look at live wind gust, and then we're going to jump right back to Aaron's live video here as well. But here are live wind gusts around Oklahoma. And again, this is part of the problem here. And again, these winds coming in from the southwest and from the south, really energizing this fire here. And again, live wind gusts here anywhere from 20 to near 30 miles per hour. In fact, right there, central Oklahoma County, 32 mile per hour wind gusts. So again, the fire has the forward spread potential of 32 miles per hour. Again, as that wind, that southerly wind is energizing and pushing the fire. And then also, like I just showed you, those embers, those particulates that are suspended in the air, as those also continue blowing to the north, that can also rekindle a fire further to the north there as well. And this is, again, is what I'm talking about. You can see the smoke in the air here. And again, embedded within the smoke, there's also some embers, some little pieces of, vegetation or whatever that are still burning. And again, as they land back on the ground, again, they can rekindle another fire. So this is what we're looking at here. Aaron, I'm going to let you tell us again exactly where you are. Again, give us kind of the exact location of where this fire is, and also update us kind of on these road closures. I know the push notification just went out, so we got a lot of people joining us here on Oklahoma Weather Tracker TV. Again, wondering exactly what's going on. I mean, essentially right here in central Oklahoma County. Again, right now we have at least latest reports are a 20-acre wildfire essentially out of control here. We've had one home that's burned and reports so far of 2 cars that have burned up. But Aaron, you're right there live on the scene. Tell us the road you're on there and tell us exactly where you are with the live update.
Yes, William. So we are on East Hefner Road, just off of North Kelly Avenue. Again, both of these roads are going to be blocked right here, pretty much at the stoplight. We're looking to the east on East Hefner Road. We're seeing a little bit of black smoke again. The smoke is still very, very heavy. I would say we can't even see half a mile down the road. So we're definitely kind of, it's kind of worrying, because they're not able to get this fire out. We're just hoping that it doesn't jump over, because what I'm looking at right now on the north side of East Hefner Road is a lot of cedar trees. And for people that have lived in some places where there has been, have been bad wildfires, cedar trees go up in flames really quick and they get really hot. So that's, it's going to be really hard to get that fire out, especially if it jumps over. And from my vantage point right now, I can't see a road that goes in right here where we're sitting. And again, we're seeing a little bit more black smoke going up in the air. One of the Guthrie Fire Department command vehicles just got on the scene. So I'm guessing that some of the Guthrie fire trucks will be arriving here shortly. But again, like we were saying, there's a lot of cedar trees just over on the north side. So we're definitely hoping and praying that it doesn't cross over. But if it does, we'll definitely give you guys that update as soon as it comes to us. William, back to you.
Okay, Aaron, appreciate that update there. Again, Aaron Spencer, one of our storm trackers there, live on the scene. And again, this is in essentially central Oklahoma County. You can say he's right there on East Hefner Road. Hefner Road closed. And again, this is a 20-acre active wildfire. Again, so far we've had reports of 1 home that has burned and 2 cars that have burned as well. And the latest report from the Oklahoma City fire officials, again, other agencies, including Guthrie, now joining the fight with this fire as well. But the latest report we had from them, they were kind of trying to make a stand right there on this fire at Hefner Road. And again, the main reason for that, they're trying to keep it from jumping Hefner Road. Obviously with the active fire spreading across the road, but also the thing that's most concerning, and really what Aaron was just talking about there, it's the particulates, it's the embers that are burning from the fire. Again, as these winds are gusting over 35 miles per hour, really energizing and really moving this fire. That's as those embers, and you can see them right here, kind of in the smoky haze, there's embers, little pieces of vegetation that have burned. They're up suspended in the air, and as they land on the other side of Hefner Road there, they easily could rekindle another fire, start a brand new fire over there. So that's the real concern, especially on these really gusty days. And again, that's what we're seeing. We're also seeing some EMSA officials. Hopefully they're just arriving out of the abundance of caution there. There's nothing else going on there. But I believe that's, Aaron, is that the first EMSA unit that you've seen arriving there on the scene?
Yes, that's the first one we've seen so far.
Now, is there something going on over here? Because what we're seeing, so the active fire is right back in here. Okay, this is Hefner Road, East Hefner Road here. But what we're seeing is we're seeing a lot of emergency vehicles now turning, and that would be on the north side of Hefner Road, going back up in here. And Aaron, as far as I know, there's nothing going on there, right? This hasn't actually jumped the road, or they may be staging on the northern sides of Hefner Road, because again, the active fire, it's originating actually right back in here. You can see the smoke plume blowing across. But tell us what's going on there on the northern sides of Hefner Road.
Yes, William, that's correct. We just repositioned our camera just a little bit so you guys can see what's a little bit to our north here. There is a new building going up, and I'm pretty sure they are staging over there just in case the fire does start to jump over. One of the ladder trucks that I'm looking at right now is starting to spray down some of the grass that's already been burned, but I'm guessing that right there is burned, you know, just so it doesn't go around everywhere else. So they're trying to kind of get it to where it doesn't jump over. But I can see, you know, just handfuls of emergency vehicles and now EMSA's going down on the East Hefner Road. So that's what we're looking at right now. The fire is definitely getting closer. We can see the kind of the area of where the smoke's at right now. But again, East Hefner Road and North Kelly Avenue are both blocked. If you guys are trying to get down here and, you know, kind of see what's going on with the fire, you know, I highly advise that you guys just stay home or stay where you're at, go around, because all you're going to be doing is causing congestion to emergency vehicles, you know, anywhere from fire departments, again, EMSA, and also the police department now. So stay away from this area, you know, again, because they're trying to do their best abilities, and if you're in their way, you know, they're not going to be able to get to where they need to quick enough. So again, stay home, you know, just stay safe. And if you guys are in, you know, this area of the fire, just definitely pay attention to what kind of information we're giving you guys, and we'll give you more information as we come along. Jim, back to you.
Okay, Aaron, appreciate that update. If you can, go and center your camera back the other way. Again, we've kind of gotten that view now. Okay, so there we go. Great. And so we're seeing, again, a lot of that dark smoke, and that's concerning. So a lot of times when you see kind of white and brown, you know, that a lot of times is vegetation. This could just be brown smoke we're seeing, but that was a big plume of black, it looked like to me, going up there. Aaron, what was that? And again, your video is just a few seconds delayed, but just a few minutes ago, is this brown smoke like vegetation, or are we maybe having another structure that's trying to get engulfed? Because again, that was a big plume, and it looked pretty dark to me from here. But again, you're actually looking at it there. Give us an update on that.
Yeah, that's correct. From our vantage point, we really can't see where that came from. I did see the plume of smoke, so, you know, it could be, you know, a small structure that, you know, kind of went up real quick. But like I just said, you know, we can't really see above this hill, but the smoke's starting to die down some, but, you know, definitely not where we want it. We can see just a little bit further up on the hill of some more of the emergency vehicles, but, you know, this fire is still definitely out of hand, so we're definitely going to be paying attention to that as we go on throughout the day, and we'll be giving you guys information as it comes to us. And just stay safe, guys. Again, if you do not have to be out around this area, please, you know, do not come around.
Hey, Aaron, real quickly, Aaron, real quickly, tell us the roads again that are closed there. And again, as we're getting a little bit closer now to the evening commute again, just before 3:30, but again, as we get closer to 4 and 5 p.m., you know, this is some folks' evening commute here. There's other folks that are maybe seeing smoke around the metro, and they're wondering exactly what's going on. So we want to really give this clear information here. Tell us again the roads specifically that are closed around this fire. And again, that way people can kind of take note here if that would potentially impact their evening commute.
Yes, William. It's going to be East Hefner Road and North Kelly Avenue. Those are the two that are going to be closed, going south and eastbound. So, you know, again, just stay away from these roads. And there's also a school that we're looking at right now. It's the Academy of Classical Christian. that's cool. I've been seeing a lot of kids outside and people coming and picking them up, so that's definitely good. They're trying to just get everybody out of here as quick as possible. So again, I'm seeing another small plume of black smoke going up just 2 hours south. So if it starts getting worse, we'll definitely come back on. We'll give you another update. Going back to you.
Okay, Aaron, really appreciate that update there. So I just kind of want to reset what's going on here. Again, for those of you just now joining us on Oklahoma Weather Tracker TV, I know we've got a lot of folks joining us now. So we're in continuous fire coverage here. This is an active wildfire here in central Oklahoma, specifically in the northern sides of the Oklahoma City limits. And again, this has been a 20-acre wildfire that's been burning so far. 1 home and 2 cars have become engulfed and again potentially burned up in this fire. And Oklahoma City fire officials on the scene working it, but they've also now called in for some additional agencies. And one of those agencies is Guthrie, coming in from the north now to help battling this fire here. And again, Aaron said he's seen a little bit of improvement here on the smoke plume, but again, as we're looking at this smoke plume, it is still quite active. And again, you're seeing some of that brown showing up right there. Of course, when you're talking about a wildfire, you've really got to watch the color of smoke. If you're talking about white smoke and brown smoke, that's a lot of times just vegetation that's being burned. Of course, that's bad, but once we start getting some black smoke, and we did have a little bit of black smoke earlier, that's when a lot of times it's more than likely a structure, maybe a home or a business in this case, that could be becoming engulfed in flames. So right now, the color of the smoke, we're tracking that carefully, but right now it looks like it's primarily brown and white. And again, brown and white smoke, again, that's just grassland and a vegetation that again is burning right now. But of course, this fire very close to buildings, structures, and homes. And right now, fire officials there, essentially the road you're looking at there, that's East Hefner Road, and fire officials there are trying to make a stand on this fire. And essentially, they're trying to keep it from jumping across Hefner Road and continuing on. So as they're trying to make this stand here at Hefner Road, trying to keep it from jumping, the other thing that we have to keep in mind is that, again, as the smoke continues to blow from the south to the north, we have southerly winds. So from the south, the smoke plume blowing to the north, again, embedded in that smoke plume, they're little embers. Like, have you ever had a campfire and you have those little hot pieces of vegetation or whatever you're burning that continue to go up in the air? Well, it's the same thing here. So we have little pieces, little sparks, if you will, or little pieces of vegetation that are still burning. They're up in the air, and as they land on the other side of Hefner, we've really got to hope and pray that, again, they don't maybe kindle a new fire on that side of the road. So that's the other thing that we're tracking there as well. And man, I tell you what, there's another big old smoke burst coming up there, Aaron. So we're looking at this live. Again, from here, it's kind of hard to judge. It looks like it's brown smoke, but it almost looks like it's black smoke. And this is coming up pretty big now, Aaron. Give us an update. What's going on there?
Yes, William. We can see the flames just to our southeast. They're huge flames. We're looking at one of the news station's towers that we're seeing. I mean, if you guys live in Oklahoma City or around the Oklahoma City metro, you guys know how tall those towers are. We can see it, going up pretty high, and again, it is black smoke. So, they're, from being, again, like we were talking before, I used to be in a volunteer fire department. When you see this black smoke, there is a structure going up.
This does not look good. I can tell you that right now. So this does not look good. And we were just talking, Aaron, about the color of the smoke here. And again, when we're saying when it's white and when it's brown smoke, that's when it's generally vegetation. When you start getting black smoke to go, a lot of times that could be a structure. We don't have any confirmation of that. Aaron, it's been a little hard to judge, because I'm just looking at a TV screen here. Is that brown or is that black smoke? Because to me, that looks like black smoke. And to me, that looks like that fire is maybe engulfing something, and it's going up pretty quick here.
That's correct, William. It is black smoke. It's starting to turn to a wider clear smoke, so I'm guessing the fire department just got to that and they're starting to put it out, which is good. But for how quick that went up and how high the flames were, it was above the trees, and these trees that are right in front of us are sitting above the level that we are. They're up on a hill, so those flames were pretty high up in the air. So as you guys can see, as the stream comes in, the smoke is starting to turn back to white, which means that they're starting to get that fire where it was contained again. But there's another burst of black smoke as we're sitting here watching it. So, and that's definitely kind of worrying, meaning that fire is getting closer again, because the smoke was a little further to the south. But now as we're watching it, it's starting to get closer to our location. Again, fire departments are doing their best. We've got fire departments from Edmond, Oklahoma City. Now the Logan County Task Force from Guthrie is now here, and I believe there's also multiple fire departments from, again, around. So they're definitely doing their hardest to try to get this fire contained. We haven't seen it jump the road yet, but again, there is another big burst of black smoke, so there is at least part of that structure, or maybe even a new structure going up. So we'll give you guys an update as soon as we can. William, back to you.
Okay, Aaron, appreciate that update. And just for the folks that are watching, maybe at work, maybe getting ready to head home here over the next 30 minutes or so, just want to reiterate that again, North Kelly, this is between East Hefner and East Britain, closed. Also, East Hefner Road, what you're looking at right there, closed. And again, the reason for that, again, is because of this active wildfire in progress. Again, this is on the northern sides of the Oklahoma City city limits. And again, I know a lot of folks are seeing, the smoke plume going up and wondering what's going on. And so far, we've only had confirmation of one home that was engulfed and 2 cars. But again, as we're seeing some of the black smoke starting to rise back up, of course, this right here looks a little more in the way of brown. Of course, brown and white smoke typically means it's vegetation that's burning. But when you get the darker black, like we had just a few minutes ago, that went up really quick, that is at least maybe some type of a signal that it could have been a structure that's burning. And again, as we're looking at this here live, from here, it's sometimes a little hard to gauge whether that's black or brown, but it's almost starting to look a little bit black again. So again, this is an active wildfire. The problem with this today, and again, the reason why the fire officials are really having to make a stand, they're making a stand here on the northerly front. This is Hefner Road. They're making a stand right here, the northerly front of this fire, is because they're trying to keep this from jumping Hefner Road. And the problem with that, again, they're doing a great job making a stand here to keep the active flames from jumping the road. But up within this smoke, there's all kinds of little embers. Like, whenever you've had a campfire and those little pieces of burning, wood or vegetation, whatever, they go up in the air really quick. It's the same thing happening from this fire. And with these gusty southerly winds blowing from the south to the north across Hefner Road, again, if one of those embers lands across the road, on the northern sides of Hefner Road, that could easily spark a fire over here. So again, fire officials doing a great job, and there's another big smoke burst going up right there. Aaron, is that black smoke or is that brown smoke? And keep in mind, I know your video is about 10 to 15 seconds delayed. You've already seen that, but I mean, we're getting these big smoke bursts going up now. It kind of looks brown to me, so I can't say for sure if that would be a structure, but I mean, we're getting some heavy smoke bursts really going up now. Give us an update.
Correct. That was another big burst of black smoke. It was just a couple minutes, delayed because it is coming into you guys in the studio. But we just saw a large command vehicle that just came in here, and they're also staging up where some of those other, like IMSA, where they turned left right up there on East Hefner Road. They just turned into that same area. So now they're getting a large command, pretty much like an RV. Right up here, staged up so they can have a closer command area. We've seen some of the vehicles try to go through where it's blocked. Guys, I'm going to tell you right now, if you try to go through this, this roadblock, you're not going to get very far. Oklahoma City Police is going to stop you and tell you to turn around, no matter if you have a house on here or not, because they're not going to let you risk your life to go down there and try to get to your house. Your best bet is to just stay around this area. Park somewhere if you can, and if they'll let you. If not, go somewhere else, or just do a couple errands while you're trying to wait for this fire to get contained. But again, we can see most of where we couldn't see earlier, but there is still, those big bursts of black smoke every now and then. It is kind of turned to that brownish white smoke, which is more just of the grass fire. But the black smoke is still going up in the air as we've been talking to you guys, for quite some time now. So, as soon as we get any more information and as soon as we see any more of that black smoke go up, we'll definitely get back to you. William, back to you.
Okay, Aaron, just got an update here as well from the Oklahoma City Fire Department. So again, right now, still just confirming only 1 structure's burned and 2 cars. There's been no injuries at all. Again, this is about a 20-acre wildfire that continues in progress just south of East Hefner Road, and that's going to be between Kelly, Aaron, and also give us again that exact location. It's Hefner Road, Kelly, and give us the other side street there.
I'm pretty sir, that's just it. It's North Kelly Avenue and East Hefner Road. That's the crossroads of where we're sitting right now.
Okay, and that's also where we have the road closures. Now, what I think a lot of that smoke is because, again, just now got confirmation that there's only been one structure. As you were talking about the cedar trees, especially on the other side over here, Aaron, I think there's also some cedar trees back in here. And so these smoke bursts that we're seeing, those are the cedar trees. Cedar trees burn very quick and very hot and very fast. And so these are bursts of cedar trees going up, and that's what we're seeing. So that's what those smoke bursts are. Those are the cedar trees. So that you can't really see them, but there's cedar trees right back in here. And Aaron said there's also some cedar trees over in here. So the thing we're concerned about, and this is what we're tracking carefully. I know Mike Russ is on the live line. We're going to talk to him about a different fire here in just a second, one over in the Hinton area in west central Oklahoma. But again, this is Hefner Road. Firefighters making a stand here, again, with the winds blowing from the south to the north. They're trying to keep this fire from jumping Hefner Road. So they're making a stand right here. But of course, the thing that's concerning, it's as this smoke and these embers on these 20, 30, and 40 mile per hour wind gusts are crossing the road, they could easily land on the other side. And again, we could kindle a fire over there. Mike Russ, you're on the live line. Tell us where you are. Are you on that fire there in Hinton yet? Give us an update where you are.
Yes, William. I'm actually just to the north of it right now. I've gotten a report that it's south of Calumet, and I'm going to be able to confirm that in just a second. But, William, this is a large, looks like it's uncontained at this time. Now, I'm probably about 2 to 3 miles to the north of it yet.
Okay, Mike, it looks like we may have just lost your video. And I hate to interrupt you, Mike. I don't know if you can check that. Your video was up. We may have just lost it. So again, not to confuse the two fires. Again, we're talking about one here in Oklahoma City. That's the video you're looking at right now with Aaron Spencer. And then we have Mike Russ in west central Oklahoma. And he's out there around the Hinton, Calumet area. And again, as soon as his video pops back up, we're going to look at it. But Mike, I want you to give us an update on the fire that you're talking about. But again, not to confuse the two fires. Mike is talking about one in west central Oklahoma. Mike, go ahead.
Yes, William. Again, this is going to be south of.
Okay, I think Mike, let me do this because we're losing you. As soon as you get closer and you get reception back, we're going to get right back with you. I just want to keep talking about this fire here. We're going to get right back to Mike, and that's probably why we lost his video. It's probably just a little bit of a reception issue out there. So we're going to check right back in with Mike. We've got Aaron standing by on the live line. And let's see, who else do we have on the live line? Do we have anybody else trying to give us some updates? Is that Derek Machaney there as well?
Yes. Derek Williams.
Derek, are you on a separate fire, or are you tracking the same one with Mike?
I'm tracking the same one with Mike.
Okay, we're going to get back to that one here in just a second. As soon as we get the video up there. But again, the one you're looking at now, not to confuse these two fires separately, but again, this here is in Oklahoma City proper. And again, this is a 20-acre wildfire. Again, we also have another one out there around the Hinton and maybe closer to Calumet area. That's the one Mike Russ is talking about. We're going to check that one here in just a second as soon as that video pops up. Again, for you folks about to maybe head home from work here in the Oklahoma City metro, Oklahoma City downtown area specifically, you may be seeing the smoke plume that's coming up. Now, it's blowing from the south to the north. It's blowing fairly quickly here, the smoke plume I'm talking about. But again, as folks see that smoke and this fairly large smoke cloud coming up, of course, that's worrisome for some folks when they see that. So again, we have one of our storm trackers, Aaron Spencer. He's on the scene of this fire. What I want Aaron to do, go ahead and tell us exactly where you are. Give us the road closures around this fire as well, important for your evening commute, and tell us what's going on with this fire. Then after that, we'll jump out there to that Hinton Calumet fire with Mike Russ. Aaron, go ahead.
Yes, William. By the way, we were talking about that road that was just to the east of me. I did find out what it was. It's going to be Crest Place Road, and that is just going to be to the east of us. It's not the one that all the emergency crews have been turning down, but it's the one kind of further off in the distance up on the hill. There's also one just to the east of that. Couldn't find out what it was, but there's a couple different roads around there where I'm guessing there's houses, so definitely a lot of structures as I can see off in the distance as well. We've been seeing some black smoke as well as you were talking to Mike and Derek. Haven't really seen any more flames above the trees just yet, but that can change at just a moment's notice. We've got really high wind gusts here, so that wouldn't be hard for the flames to go up again like they were just a little bit ago. But and as we're talking to you, we're seeing a really big about that area that we were talking about earlier, and there's also some flames going up above the trees now, so we can definitely see that.
Though, again, it looks like from here, Aaron, I think those are cedar trees, and you were talking about that. But this big burst that we keep seeing, the big burst, that it almost looks like black smoke, but I think it's more in the way of brown smoke. Those are cedar trees, and cedar trees, they burn fast, they burn hot. And again, they go up really quick. And so this, see right there, see that burst? That's what Aaron's talking about. His video is about 15 seconds delayed coming in here. So that big burst, I mean, that looks really concerning when you see that. It almost looks black like it's a structure, but I think those are actually cedar trees. There's areas of cedar trees that are going up. They burn hot, they burn fast, they go up, and they produce a lot of really dark brown smoke. And it looks to me like that's what that is. But again, as folks are seeing that, you're getting ready to head home, you're looking out the office window, you see a big old cloud of dark brown smoke. Of course, that's really concerning to a lot of folks. So again, this fire right now, again, fire officials trying to make a stand here at Hefner Road. They're trying to keep it from jumping the road. And again, that's why we have our storm tracker right there in position. Aaron, I didn't mean to interrupt you. I'm going to let you keep going. And then, like I said, we're going to check in with Mike Russ here on the fire out around the Calumet area momentarily. But Aaron, go ahead.
Again, guys, we're sitting on East Hefner Road, and as you guys are watching the stream, you guys can see all that dark smoke. Like William, like you were just saying, it is very concerning. It's kind of hard to depict if it's really just dark brown, because I was looking at it through a pair of binoculars that we have, and it looks black to me, but there's also that mixture of white smoke. So it could kind of be a mixture between trees and also structures, because I do see a big warehouse that's just down the road from us, and also that road does go back to the south, and I do know that there is some structures back there. So if it was the cedar trees, I do know that this fire is getting pretty close to the road. So I guess we'll be looking to see if they can get this fire out, or at least contain enough to where it doesn't jump over the road. But as soon as we see that fire getting closer, we'll definitely give you guys an update and let you know what's going on.
Hey, I want to do this, Aaron. Great job reporting there. I want to do this. I want to switch over to Mike Russ, and he's out now. We're saying Hinton, but I think you're more out towards the Calumet area. Is that right, Mike? You're on the live line. We're looking at your video coming in here. Tell us where you are exactly now, and give us an update on that fire. We're going to get right back to the active fire that Aaron had with the video here momentarily. But we're also looking at Mike Russ's video. Tell us where you are, Mike, and give us a live update on the other active wildfire out there in west central Oklahoma.
Yes, William. I don't know if you can hear me well enough here, but we're actually just going to be to the east of Cedar Lake, Oklahoma right now. This is going to be just to the northeast of Cedar Lake. It's going to be southwest of Calumet, but south of I-40. So this is a large fire right now. Multiple agencies are on scene right now. As you can see, hopefully in my live shot here, this is a very large fire out here in the Canadian River Valley. If you're from around here, I believe this is called the Caddo Jake Bridge area. It's a huge bridge that crosses the South Canadian River out here just to the east of Cedar Lake, Oklahoma. This is a very, very wooded area, has a lot of cedar trees. The problem I'm seeing here is I can't tell right now. They've kind of got the road blocked off up here, but it looks like there are going to be homes in danger out here, William.
Okay, I switched from the video. I know you're still en route, Mike. As soon as you get the video within range, we want to see it. We're just getting reports here into the forecast center as well. This is a large fire out there in Canadian County as well. So, Mike, perfect positioning on it. I know you're about to be there. So, again, we're just waiting on your video to come in. I just quickly switched back over to Aaron's shot in North Oklahoma City. But, Mike, do you have anything else on that fire? Again, we're just kind of gathering some information here in the forecast center as well. There it is. Okay, so the video has just kicked in. It looks like, I think your video was delayed and we just had to kick it in from here. So let's go back to Mike's shot. Okay, so there it is right there. There it is. So, okay, Mike, tell us again now, where exactly is this? For the folks out there in Canadian County, big smoke cloud coming up here as well. Tell us exactly where this is and where you're located out there in Canadian County.
Yes, William. I'm actually on Calumet Road, south of I-40, almost to Reno Road, which is, it travels basically right into Cedar Lake, Oklahoma. So this is going to be about 3 to 4 miles south of I-40 and about 3 miles east of Cedar Lake, Oklahoma, off of Reno Road. This is also the Canadian River Valley area, so it's very wooded, very heavily wooded, a lot of cedar trees, and there are homes, of course, on Reno Road out here, and I believe these homes are actually going to be in danger, William.
Okay. So it looks a little ominous from there. Are you guys able to get any closer at all, Mike? I know when you get that rural and you're trying to navigate the roads out there, sometimes it's kind of hard to get there. You've got a great shot of the overview of exactly what's going on. Are you guys able to get any closer to that one or not?
I'm going to try, William, but they've got a lot of fire equipment out here right now on the road that I'm on, kind of blocking the road at the moment. So I'm actually going to attempt to drive south.
Okay, and also when you have a chance, hit your GPS so that way we'll show folks again where you are on the radar as well. I want to go back to our other active wildfire, and again, this one here is in Oklahoma City proper. So again, we've got 2 live here. We've got one out in Canadian County. It's going to be out there. It's going to be out there south of the Calumet area, Calumet exit. That's where Mike Russ is, our senior storm tracker. Then we've got Aaron Spencer, essentially on East Hefner Road, right here in central Oklahoma, and in Oklahoma County, Oklahoma City proper. And again, we have this other 20-acre wildfire in progress. 1 home has been burned, or at least engulfed. 2 cars have also been engulfed in this fire as well. Aaron, you've been there essentially the whole time. Give us an update on this fire, and then we're going to get back to Mike's fire momentarily as well. So go and give us a live update.
That's correct. So we're still sitting here on East Hefner Road. As you were talking to Mike, we had another large burst of dark smoke, and we could see the flames. It's starting to get pretty close to this road. I wouldn't doubt within the next, half hour, if that, this fire is going to be on the road. So we're definitely going to be watching that. It's just really worrying because we're looking at the top of this hill, and we can see a 2-story house, and then there's flames right behind it. So I'm just hoping he can at least stay just to the east. He doesn't, catch this house on fire, because it is a pretty good-sized house, and you guys think about it, people have paid so much money and put so much money into their houses, and it's just heartbreaking to see people losing their homes. So we're just trying to keep our fingers crossed that no more structures go up late on this afternoon on into the early evening. So back to you.
No, I mean that's an absolute great point. We're going to go right back to Mike's video as well. Again, we're kind of basically seesawing between 2 fires here. Again, this one here in the metro. Now, Aaron, it looks like the smoke plume on the one that you're on there. It looks like the smoke plume, compared to maybe the last 30 minutes or so, maybe looking just a little bit smaller. Possibly some good news there. It might just be a moment in time. But update us on that as well. Is the smoke plume possibly getting a little bit smaller? And the reason why that would be important, obviously, maybe the fire officials, again, they're trying to make a stand right there at Hefner Road. As they're trying to make that stand, could they possibly be getting the wildfire maybe at least more under control? Tell us about that.
Yeah, that's kind of what it looks like. Again, we've been sitting here for quite some time giving you guys that live coverage and also all the live updates that we've been giving you. The smoke is not as thick, and it's also lower in elevation as well, which, that doesn't mean anything. Sometimes it's just the wind that's keeping it down low. But the smoke is not as thick. It's just not as much as it was when we first started, and also about 5 minutes ago. So it does look like it's starting to get contained more than what it was. Again, that could change in a moment's notice, because all the winds have been very, very vigorous today. So that's definitely a key factor in that, as well as the temperatures. The temperatures have been pretty warm today as well. So if it does start getting back out of hand, we'll definitely give you guys, we'll break back in and give you guys an update. But we'll keep watching it as William gives you guys the live updates. So William, back to you.
Okay, and what I want to do, I want to go out to Mike Russ, and I think, Mike, you're kind of repositioning out there just a little bit, which is fine. But tell us where your fire is right now, and tell us what's going on out there in Canadian County. So again, we're jumping between 2 separate fires, but Mike, give us an update as well.
Yes, William. I'm going to be out here on Reno Road, which is going to be south I-20 by about 3 to 4 miles and southwest of Calumet, but about almost due east of Cedar Lake, Oklahoma. William, I'm not seeing any containment right now. It's very difficult.
Okay, and we may be kind of temporarily losing Mike again. He's out there fairly rural, so we'll just kind of play it by ear. Let's see if he pops back in.
It actually does have quite a few homes in the area, and I'm actually coming out into some of the fires right now, and I see my stream is down. So bear with me, and I'm going to try to get the stream back up.
Okay.
But this is a very, very developed institution here, William.
Okay, and so we're going to keep checking. Okay, and we're going to keep checking in with Mike. And again, I think we're just audio's just a little bit in and out. We're just kind of dealing with that right there. So not a big deal. But we're still looking at Aaron's shot. Mike's video will be right back up. But Aaron, it really looks like the smoke plume is starting to come down on that North Oklahoma City fire. Go and tell us again exactly where you are. Tell us what roads are closed there. And again, over the last 10 minutes, it looks like there's maybe some pretty decent progress as far as getting that smoke plume tamped down there. Give us an update on that.
Yes, William. Again, we're sitting on East Hefner Road, just off of Kelly Avenue. Again, we've been watching this fire for quite some time. One of the police helicopters is actually hovering over us right now, but the fire has died down a little bit, as we can tell from the smoke anyway. It is definitely getting closer to East Hefner Road, though, so we're keeping an eye on that as much as possible. Some of the fire trucks have been retreating back to the west, so that either means that it's starting to die down, or that means it's about to cross the road. So we're definitely going to be watching that as it unfolds. If it starts to look like it's going to hop the road, we'll definitely break in and give you guys that update. But as of right now, again, the smoke is starting to die down, and we haven't seen any dark smoke or flames, so that could be a very good thing. So we'll give you guys an update as soon as we get any more information. William, back to you.
Okay, Aaron, really appreciate that update. And again, so this is in Oklahoma County, essentially on East Hefner Road. And what was the other cross street, Aaron? That's at East Hefner Road, and what's the cross street?
It'll be North Kelly Avenue.
Okay, and then it looks like, let's go to Derek. I believe Derek Mashaney is with us now. So we're jumping to different fires here. And as we get Derek's shot pulled up here, he's got a shot of the fire out in Canadian County. And bear with me here as I'm kind of working different angles here as well. But again, as we're getting Derek Mashaney's shot pulled up here, Derek, you're on the live line. We're getting your shot pulled up right now. Tell us exactly where you are on this fire out in Canadian County, and give us a live update as well.
I am on Northwest 10th Street, just about 4 miles south of I-40.
Mm-hmm.
And as Mike said earlier, they don't have really, the containment on this fire is very minimal. And there are possibilities of housing paths within this fire, which we hope that we don't have to see. But it looks like everybody around this general direction is kind of preparing.
And Derek, you may check your live shot. It was up, but it literally just went down. So you may check your live shot real quick to see if you can get it back up. But it literally just went down. So again, not to confuse the folks, we're talking about different fires here. And in fact, I think it's just now coming back up here. So let's go and take your shot again. Remember, Derek's obviously fairly rural out there. He's out there in the Cedar Lake area. That's going to be south of Calumet. And again, as it's slowly kicking in here, again, it's just because of the rural coverage out there. He's having a little bit of trouble getting the signal in. But I can tell you what you're seeing there in the foreground. And Derek, then I'll turn it back over to you. This is all smoke back in here. Okay, so that's all smoke. As this kicks back in and starts playing here in a minute, that's all smoke right back in there. So again, talking about different fires, we've got one here in Oklahoma County, in the Oklahoma City limits proper, and then again, we're tracking one out here south of Calumet, out in Canadian County. Don't want to confuse the two, but Derek Mashaney's out there on the Canadian County storm. Okay, Derek, so go ahead and give us an update on that storm, on that fire rather.
Yes, William. So, the containment's very minimal right now, and, there are homes that have this fire, and they're sort of actually try and work around those homes out of a way that don't have any losses. But I will say the wind out here is horrible, and in a condition like this is not a good time to have bad wind, as it makes it harder to really contain these fires. And so, you know, it's actually really hard to see initially where I am at, just because of the amount of slip that's out here. And I'm actually going to turn around here just because it's tough to see.
Okay.
And so, you know, the smoke here is bad.
Okay, and try and keep the shot centered up. We just got your video to kick back in. It's kind of in and out. And again, we understand that. Again, where Derek is, it's fairly rural. Again, he's out there in Canadian County. And by the way, if you guys can, hit your GPS, and that way we can kind of show the folks. I'll put it up on radar and show the folks. Well, in fact, actually on radar, we've got a huge smoke plume signature. So in fact, we'll go over to radar here. I'll show folks exactly where the fire right there. Again, not to confuse, we're talking about two separate fires here, one in Oklahoma County and then one out in Canadian County. And again, just bear with me while I get this punched up here on radar. But as we go over to the weather computer, again, you can see exactly where this fire is, again, out there in Canadian County. Again, that's the one that Derek Machane's on, and there it is. So that's a very large smoke plume. That's I-40 right there. Again, you can see where it's south of Calumet. It's going to be out there around the Cedar Lakes area. That's what Mike was calling it, the Cedar Lakes area. There's the origin of the fire. What you're seeing here, this is all the smoke lifting up. Big smoke cloud there, big smoke cloud coming through the Calumet area. So again, that's our fire out there in Canadian County. And then again, Aaron Spencer on the other fire in Oklahoma County. I think the one in Oklahoma County is getting a little more contained. As I move the radar around here, you can see Aaron's live GPS dot, again, exactly where he is. And Derek will get his GPS up momentarily as well. So again, two separate fires, talking about two different deals here. But again, that one out there in Canadian County, it does look concerning. It is quite large. Again, we have two storm trackers on that one, Mike Russ and Derek Machane both. And I think we lost Derek's videos kicking back in. So here we go. All right, Derek, we've got your video to kick back in again. So we're looking at the fire out in Canadian County. Aaron, stand by, because we're going to talk to you about that Oklahoma County fire as well. But Derek, go ahead and keep giving us kind of a play-by-play on what's going on out there south of Calumet, south of I-40, out there in Canadian County with this active wildfire.
Yes, William. So, you know, not much has changed in the last few minutes that I've spoken to you. But I will say this fire is a large fire. It doesn't look like there's a whole lot of containment. They are getting it contained in certain spots, but because of the wind being so heavy out here, you know, it's making it a little more difficult for them to be able to initially battle the fires that are here, which is causing them to spread a lot quicker. And we do have a multi-county task force working this particular fire. And so, you know, I'm noticing there's ranchers out here that's trying to get around to a couple of homes, in which there is a home directly in the path of one of these, where this fire is coming north at us. And so, you know, it's one of those situations where right now wind is going to be a huge factor on how quickly they can get this fire contained, which would be a detrimental resource to allowing, this fire to be put out quicker. And so, you know, I'm hoping that once they kind of get things cleared out, and I've also noticed too, that certain areas that has dropped over one of the roads here as far as embers. And so, you know, they've also had those separate small fires that they're working with as well. But the smoke here is very, very, very thick. And it looks like they might have a separate one kind of starting to form up in this direction from my vantage point that they're going to try and tackle here momentarily. But this is not a fire that you want to be playing around with. It's a big fire, multi-acre fire, and you know, if you don't have to be out here, don't be out here right now, because it makes it harder for emergency services to initially be able to do their jobs. And we definitely don't want to have homes lost today. We don't want to have cattle lost, anything of that nature. So whatever it takes for them to be able to do their jobs is the main priority right now. Back to you, William.
Okay, really appreciate that update there, Derek. And again, I'm going to let your video play again, only because it was kind of sporadic there just for a few minutes. And again, it's only because you're so rural. I mean, there's really nothing more you can do about it. When you get rural, sometimes that happens. So we're looking at your video. I want to do this. Aaron Spencer, you're on the live line with us as well. We're going to get right back to your video momentarily, but give us an update on the fire in Oklahoma County. So again, we're talking about 2 separate fires here. I'm going to stick with Derek's video just momentarily. Again, a great shot of what's going on out there south of I-40, south of Calumet, in Canadian County. Again, a large active wildfire. I've got a big smoke cloud plume on radar here as well. Again, you're seeing the video right there from Derek Mashani, one of our storm trackers. But now let's talk about what's going on in Oklahoma County, Oklahoma City specifically. Aaron, are you still on the live line with us?
Yes, William, we're here.
Okay, so go ahead and tell us what's going on with your fire. And in fact, let's go and quickly switch to your video as well. And so again, this was the fire up there around the Hefner Road, East Hefner Road area. But again, the good news on this one, it looks like it is really starting to get tamped down. There's nowhere near as big of a smoke plume or smoke cloud as we saw maybe 15 minutes ago. Give us an update on that one.
Yes, William, that's correct. We've been sitting here kind of just watching it as you were talking to, again, Derek and Mike. The smoke plumes went down quite a bit. At least 10 of the fire trucks have come back to the west, and now we're kind of just watching and seeing what's going on. The police helicopter has been kind of circling around. I landed here where they've been staging. He landed there for about 5 minutes, and then now he's back up in the air. I still got that road blocked off here at East Hefner Road and North Kelly Avenue. So, the fire is definitely not out yet, but, they're definitely getting a good hand on it now. So, hopefully, again, no structures have went up, within the past 30 minutes to an hour that we've been sitting here. So, we're going to be watching that and seeing what's going on. But the winds have died down just a little bit. The gusts are still pretty high, though. So, that's still kind of a key factor on, how fires are spreading as the day goes on. So we're definitely going to be watching this at least until most of the fire is out, and we'll try to give you guys an update as we get any more information. So William, back to you.
Okay, Aaron, really appreciate that update. We're going to check right back in with you here in just a second. I want to give just a quick overview here because, again, we're talking about 2 separate fires. I don't want us to confuse different fires in different video that is coming into the forecast center here. So we're talking about one fire that Aaron had just now and that we've really been tracking for probably the last hour and a half or so. It is in Oklahoma County, up around the Hefner Road, East Hefner Road area. That fire, luckily, right now is getting to be a little more under control compared to where it was. Then we also have a fairly large wildfire that is not under control right now at all. And again, this one is out. In Canadian County. So again, 2 separate wildfires. I want to show you on radar. I want to show you this on radar specifically. And again, not to confuse anybody with the 2 separate fires. So let's go and take a look at radar. We're going to get right back to our team of storm trackers on all of these active wildfires, live video coming in from everybody. But this is what we're looking at here. So with Mesoscan radar, again, Aaron's fire in Oklahoma County is right there. There's his live GPS dot. That's where Aaron is, right there, East Hefner Road. We're going to check right back in with him. This fire just came up here probably within about the last 30 minutes, and this is a big one. This is the one that Mike Russ and also Derek Mashani, they're both on out there. We're going to check their video here in just a minute as well. That's the smoke plume. That's the smoke cloud there, south of Calumet, south of I-40. And again, this is a big wildfire now, again, essentially right now out of control. But again, you can actually see that smoke plume. So again, just kind of graphically there to show folks exactly what we're talking about here. What I want to do, we just talked to Aaron. That was the update of what's going on, at least on the Oklahoma City fire. Again, right now it's more under control than it was right there on East Hefner Road. They're getting it tamped down, at least right now. That's the good news. What I want to do, I want to go to Mike Russ now. And he's out there again, south of Calumet, south of I-40. And again, I believe you're describing it as the Cedar Lake area, Mike, but you're on the live line with us. We're looking at your video as well. You arrived on this fire maybe 30 minutes ago. And again, forgive Mike and Derek's video. It's going to be just a little bit more choppy because, again, they're a little bit more rural, okay, than where Aaron is, obviously. So this is going to be a little bit choppier. But, Mike, I believe you're still on the live line with us. Tell us again what's going on out there and give us a live update.
Yes, William. I'm actually I'm on this fire right now. I've been to the start point, and it's still rural out here, guys. Like Lee was saying, it's hard for us to get any signal. Not a lot of carriers are out here. But again, is nowhere near contained. These firefighters are doing the best job they can. But yes, it is out here by Cedar Lake, Oklahoma right now. And this is a very intense fire right now. William, I don't know how to describe this. I'm seeing where the fire started from. And ladies and gentlemen, please, if I had to take a guess, it was a cigarette that started this fire. It was something that started it from a roadway. That is unnecessary. There are people that are going to be losing homes out of this. Actually, William, I'm going to have to turn around here. So if you can bear with me, William.
What we're going to do while we're just kind of waiting on your video to kick back in because your video was frozen. So that again was what's kind of going on out there in Canadian County. Mike's video is about to kick back in. Derek Machaney also out there as well. So we're going to again talk to them in just a second. For the other folks again on their evening commute, at least in the Oklahoma City area specifically, and it looks like Derek's video is kicking in. I want to go back to Aaron again. This is up on East Hefner Road. Quickly, Aaron, go and give us an update on this fire. It looks like they're really getting control of this fire. Again, the smoke cloud compared to maybe 20 minutes ago, much more under control. Again, 20 minutes ago, again, we had a blowing smoke plume crossing Hefner Road. This is East Hefner Road. Again, fire officials basically made a stand right there at Hefner Road to keep it from jumping. And it looks like, fortunately, so far they've been fairly successful. But there are some road closures here. And again, for folks, again, about to basically start their evening commute, I want to give a quick update on the road closures there. And then Mike's video's kicked in, so we need to get right back to him. So, Aaron, give us a quick update on this North Oklahoma City fire.
Yes, William, I am agreeing with you. The smoke plume is really not visible now. They still got quite a bit of fire crews out here. Again, firefighters from multiple agencies are doing a fantastic job. We haven't seen any big bursts of smoke in the past 5 to 10 minutes that we've been watching this. So they're definitely starting to get the fire put out. They've still got quite a few fire trucks staged over here just to our north, just in case things get out of hand again. But as of right now, smoke plume is getting down. Also, the roads that are closed are going to be, again, North Kelly Avenue and East Hefner Road. So if you guys are trying to get through there, they're not going to be letting you through, at least till they get this fire put out.
Okay, Aaron, I'm going to stop you right there. I appreciate that update. I want to get back out to Mike. So this is his live video coming in again. This is out here around Cedar Lake. This is the larger, much larger grass fire. And again, you can actually see the particulates there blowing. But Mike, you're still on the live line with us here. And again, we're looking at your video. You may almost have to back up a little bit because we're really not able to make anything out here at all. But give us an update on this fire, especially, and it looks like you're backing up there. So again, these are 30, 40 mile per hour winds. You see that? These are sideways embers. These are sideways embers. You can see the embers that are burning and the smoke, the particulates sideways blowing. Mike, you're out there in Cedar Lake. Give us an update. Looks fairly ominous out there right now.
Yes, William, this is a very, very uncontrolled fire. I'm actually going to have to continue backing out. I got a little bit way too close here. I was a little bit afraid my truck was going to catch fire. But William, this fire out here is very uncontrolled. It's actually, the winds are picking up speed off of this fire right now.
Yeah. Well, and I hate to interrupt. I hate to interrupt you, Mike, but as we're looking at your video here, this is really telling the story because again, as these 20, 30, and 40 mile per hour winds, they're energizing this fire. And just like with Aaron's fire, as we went over about the last hour, the one up there around Hefner Road, the problem today is that it's all these embers that are burning, just like when you have a campfire and you have those little sparks that come up out of the fire. Well, imagine a much larger fire and all those little sparks, those little embers, they're being blown on these 30 and 40 mile per hour winds downstream. And again, wherever they land, if they land on some dry vegetation, there's an opportunity for them to rekindle the fire, and that's how these fires move fast. And again, we're seeing that right here. I know your video just locked up there as soon as I started talking. Again, Mike's very rural. It'll kick right back in here in a second. But Mike, this one, let me show you. Let me show the folks again where this one is here on radar, because this is important information again for our friends out there. Right now, not necessarily threatening any hometowns. This is again south of Calumet. And again, we're going to take a look at radar here. Then we're going to get right back to Mike Russ here. But again, we're going to take a quick look at radar. And as we do that, again, you can see exactly where the smoke plume is. And again, this one's coming up out there The red dot, that's Aaron's live GPS. And Mike, if you have a chance, you may hit your GPS as well. So again, the two separate fires that we're talking about here, just again, not to confuse anyone, this is the Oklahoma City fire, mainly under control. Good news right now with that one. That's the one that Aaron's on. But again, you can see how quickly this new fire came up out here south of Calumet, south of I-40, and it's out here in a little small community out there called the Cedar Lake area south of I-40. Some of you folks may be familiar with that. That is a big smoke plume, a big smoke cloud coming up right there. And again, that's the fire that Mike's on. And again, you're seeing his live video there as well. So let's go back to his video, Mike. I didn't mean to interrupt you there, but go ahead and give us an update and tell us again what's going on out there with that fire.
Yes, William. Again, this is going to be just to the east, northeast of Cedar Lake, Oklahoma. I know I went down to the starting point where there was absolutely no reception, and I apologize for that. But again, it looks like it started like it's going to be starting off of a cigarette or something from a roadway. There are multiple homes in danger. Fire departments have kind of surrounded these homes trying to protect them. But William, this is a very intense fire, and it's almost making its own weather out here. The wind gusts inside the fire where I'm at. Now, mind you guys, I've got the air circulating in the truck, so I'm not breathing in these fumes right now. The anti-air filter of my truck is taking care of that. But again, this fire is very, very intense. I don't see any containment on it right now whatsoever. This is a very dangerous fire. It is very well uncontained. But again, the gusts are actually getting harder and higher inside this fire right now. Don't do it.
Essentially on that fire, really over about the last hour or so. So go ahead and again, give us an update and tell us exactly what's going on out there. Again, south of Calumet, south of I-40, again out there around the Cedar Lake area. Okay, we may have temporarily lost Mike. Again, they're just kind of dealing with cell phone service issues. Again, they're fairly rural. So what I want to do, I want to go back here into the Oklahoma City Metro. Now, this is the good news right now, is that this fire in Oklahoma City, up there around the East Hefner Road area, right now it seems like that one is fairly well contained. Aaron Spencer's there. He's been there on that one. In fact, we're even seeing a ladder truck there heading away from the scene. But Aaron, tell us exactly where you are. Give us an update on those road closures and tell us about that fire. Then we're going to get right back out there to that Cedar Lake fire with Mike Russ momentarily.
Yes, William, that's correct. We are again on North Kelly Avenue and East Hefner Road. We've been listening to the scanner while you were giving that live update of the fire over in western Oklahoma. We've been listening to one of the TAC channels that all the fire departments are on. They're sending at least one ladder truck back to the station here in Oklahoma City. From what we've heard, it sounds like most of the fire is out, but now they're sending a couple more fire trucks in. I do know that Sooner Volunteer Fire Department is also here, so the couple of volunteer fire departments here, over in Logan County have been dispatched out to this as well, and now they're actually on their way towards where the fire was. The smoke plume, you can't really see it, especially like it, you could see it earlier. So it's definitely a good thing that they've got most of the fire contained. So if anything were to happen or to change, we'll definitely give you guys another live update. But as of right now, it looks like the firefighters are doing a fantastic job and getting this fire out and contained. And pretty sure that the fire also has not jumped East Hefner Road. So again, that's another good thing. William, back to you.
Okay, really appreciate that update, Aaron. And we're looking at some other video. Again, we were looking at Aaron's video. We've jumped back out there to the Canadian County area. And again, that's where Mike Russ and Derek Machaney, two of our other storm trackers, are. Again, we're talking about two separate fires. There's good news, at least here in Oklahoma County. Again, the fire there on East Hefner Road, for the most part, tamped down and being put out. That's the one that Aaron was on. Just got the update from him. But it's a different story on this fire out in Canadian County. The only issue right now that we're having, it's because it's so rural that the cell phone coverage and the fact of us even being able to talk to our storm trackers, we are having a few issues with that. So I think he's back. I think Mike Russ is back on the live line. And Mike, you're out there on that fire. You've been on it. Your video, it's still kind of intermittent. It's not streaming like most folks would be used to. So it's kind of coming in frame by frame. And Mike may have just dropped back off the live line. So they're doing the best they can out there. We're going to check back in with them coming up momentarily. So that's Mike's video. This is also Derek Machaney's video. Again, they're both out there on that fire. And again, let me also show you radar here. We'll kind of show you where this fire is kind of geographically while we're waiting on them to get back on the live line. Let me just go and punch that up over here. And while we do that, and also there are live GPS locations as well. So again, like I said, just kind of bear with us on this Canadian County fire here. Again, while we're getting, their basically their streams back up again for the fact they're just so rural, and also back on the live line as well. But Mesoscan radar, this is where the two fires are that we're currently tracking here in the metro. Again, one in Oklahoma County specifically, that's the one Aaron's on. You just saw the live video. That, for the most part, is tamped down. Again, good news with that one. But this is the one that came up just about an hour ago, south of I-40, south of Calumet. That's where Mike Russ is. Also, Derek Machaney, one of our other storm trackers. And again, this one is not under control at all. And in fact, if you were joining us maybe just 15 minutes ago, 10 minutes ago maybe, very dynamic video coming out of this fire. But again, we're going to go back to that video. The problem is, it's just a little more intermittent than, again, what we're used to here in Oklahoma Weather Tracker TV. But again, it's because they're so rural. They're just in a very rural area. So it's just kind of coming in frame by frame. And in fact, we're just waiting for them to get back on the live line here with us. They will momentarily, but as soon as they're able to get their cell phone service kind of reestablished, they'll be back on the live line with us. And the unfortunate part of this fire that's now in Canadian County is the fact that, again, from Mike Russ, our senior storm tracker, he is reporting that there are some homes that are threatened out there. So that's the not good part with this. And it looks like Derek Machaney's back on the live line with us here. Derek, we're actually looking at your video. It's coming in slow. We understand you're very rural out there. But as you're looking at this fire, again, Cedar Lake, south of I-40, south of Calumet, Canadian County, tell us what you're seeing on this fire. You're on the live line here with us. Give us an update.
Yes, William. I am actually up a little bit higher. I spoke with emergency management. Right now there's no real info to really give out other than they're working their hardest to get this fire taken care of. I do know American Red Cross is en route. And so, this is one of those fires that it's not to joke around with. It's a lot more serious than people around here realize. And so, they are doing the best they can. And we give praise to the emergency personnel that are out here trying to battle this fire. I will say, as Mike said earlier, the roads that are down in this general direction, as I had to earlier, I had to turn around because it's that bad. Unfortunately, Mike, he got a little bit of a fire situation in front of him. But this fire it's flying over, and the wind down here is not helping the initial fire that's burning all the acreage that's in this direction. And so, if you're down in the Calumet area and you're around the Cedar Lake area, please stay away for a little bit. You can view it from where you're at, a long distance. Let emergency personnel do their jobs. Because if they can't get around the battle of this fire, there's no telling what direction it's going to end up going, and there's no telling how long it will burn for. Back to you, William.
Okay, Mike's video is just kicking back in, Mike. We see it moving there again. And by the way, just getting reports here, Department of Forestry, they are now dispatching an aircraft. It's now en route to help with aerial, battling the fire aerially as well. And so just got that report in there as well. They're now calling this the Maple Fire. So this is now being called the Maple Fire again. Geographically speaking, we see the active flames there now from Mike Russ's shot. We see the active flames. And again, bear with us. This is coming in again, kind of frame by frame by frame, because they're so rural. It's hard to stream. Great video coming in from Senior Storm Tracker Mike Russ here. Mike, I believe you're on the live line with us as well. Give us a live update. This is now being called the Maple Fire, and we now have air support coming in here as well. Mike, you're on the live line. Go and give us an update.
Yes, William. The reason why it's going to be called the Maple Fire, there's a school that's actually closer to here, a small, little itty-bitty community that's called the Maple School. So that's actually going to be why it's called that. It's going to be just north of Cedar Lake. But, William, I had to kind of back out. I had flames coming across my truck. I don't know if that's going to show up on the live shot. But, so in turn, I had to back out. So, again, William, this is a very intense fire. I'm trying to get to the west side of it right now. So bear with me as I try to re-navigate and try to get a different vantage point. Again, ladies and gentlemen, it's just so rural out here. I'm trying to get the story told here, and we're having a little bit of a problems with the relay any information we can. But William, I can tell you there are some homes that I saw earlier that the fire departments are really trying to protect right now. That the fire is knocking on their doors. A lot of fire trucks are out there trying to protect it. In fact, I'm out here looking at another home.
Okay, we may be losing Mike just a little bit there, but again, great video coming in. They're very rural. This is now being called the Maple Fire. This is south of I-40, south of Calumet. This is in Canadian County. I'll show you on radar again where it is here coming up just momentarily. We've got two storm trackers out there on this fire. We've got Mike Russ. We've also got Derek Machaney. And Mike Russ's video, it's fairly vivid coming in right now. Again, very detailed, and we're going to kind of leave it up. So it's going to be a little bit in and out. You just got to bear with us. They're in a very rural location. Mike, are you still with us? Did we lose you? Or are you still there? Okay, you're a little intermittent. I want to go to Derek Machaney. He's also on the north side of this fire, I believe. We're going to stick with your video, Mike. Hopefully it'll kick back in any minute now. But Derek Machaney, you're on the other fringe of this fire. Tell us exactly where you are and tell us what you're seeing from your vantage point there.
Yes, William. I am just east of, let's see here, Red Rock Road. And from my vantage point, the fire looks like it's actually on the back end. It looks fairly less, but it is still not contained. As a matter of fact, because of the winds that we have right now, it's actually spreading it a lot quicker. And so, that's what our whole ballpark is today, is these winds are causing an issue for this fire to basically become in a battle situation. We have a lot of cedar trees out here, and as you said earlier, those burn, and they burn hot, and they go up real quick. And when you have a big group of those in one area, those can create a bigger issue because they're a lot harder to battle. But it is spreading, and it is big, and it's moving due north of the location that we are right now. And as I said earlier, if you don't have to be out here, don't be out here, because it's only making things harder for emergency personnel, which are working their tails off to get this fire battled. And so be careful, be vigilant, and give the space needed for these guys to work back to you, William.
I really appreciate that update there, Derek Machaney and Mike Russ, both of our storm trackers out there on this fire. Aaron Spencer has also been on the fire in Oklahoma County. Real quickly, I just want to show radar. I think Mike Russ just popped back on, but I want to show radar real quick again, just to kind of orient people with what's going on. I know we have folks joining us from all around the state wondering where this is. You may not be familiar with some of these cities around parts of Oklahoma. Now, obviously, Oklahoma City, everyone's familiar with that. One fire fairly well tamped down. We're going to talk to Aaron again here in just a second. But out here south of Calumet, south of I-40, you can see this other fire. This is the smoke plume coming up out of it. Mike Russ, our senior storm tracker, live GPS there. We're going to go back to Mike's video. And I believe, Mike, you're back on the live line. And again, you have to just bear with us today, folks. These guys are so rural that, again, their video is kind of coming in and out, and also their audio, their phone, is also kind of coming in and out just a little bit as well. There is Mike's video now. And again, so we're going to be checking back in with Mike coming up here momentarily. And then we also have Derek Machaney. And Derek, it looks like maybe your video is kicking in just a little bit better. I can't tell for sure if it's moving. So again, we're used to streaming video moving nice and fluidly, but you guys are so remote, it's kind of coming in at times frame by frame by frame. So let's do this real quick. I want to check in with Aaron again on that Oklahoma City fire. Again, for the most part, that one had been tamped down. Let's take a look at Aaron's video here. Aaron, give us an update on that Northeast Hefner Road fire in Oklahoma City.
Yes, William. Again, we've been listening to the scanners, which is going to be the TAC force that they've changed over to instead of just the regular Oklahoma City fire. We did get some new information. They're going to be our fire is under control. They're going to be hotspotting for the rest of the evening, and they're also releasing mutual aid as they come back out from where the fire was just a little bit ago. So again, this fire is under control, and they're just going to be putting out some of the hot spots that are left. But other than that, anybody that is worried about their house is anywhere at least of north of East Hefner Road, know that your house is safe now, because again, the fire is under control, and they're just going to be putting out some of the hot spots, and also they're releasing mutual aid.
Okay, that's an update on the Oklahoma City fire. Aaron Spencer, great job. We're now back out into Canadian County, and again, this is south of I-40, south of Calumet, and this is Mike Russ. So he had to back out a little bit. This is our senior storm tracker here. Again, maybe 15, 20 minutes ago as you were joining us, he actually had smoke and embers sideways blowing directly in front of him, so he's backed out now, and he's repositioning on this fire here. But Mike, still not a good-looking situation out there. And again, I know you're still kind of in and out on the live line. Again, they're very rural, so the cell phone service is a little bit spotty where he is. But Mike, if you're on the live line here with us, give us an update and tell us what you've been seeing here over the last few minutes.
Yes, William. Again, we're out here at just south of Calumet. It's going to be south of the Maple School out here right now. This is a very intense fire, guys. Very intense. I know I heard Derek say it earlier. If you don't have to be out here, please don't be out here. It's extremely hot out here. This is a very, very powerful fire right now. I don't have the best of shots at the moment because of it's kind of following into the valley here, and the fire it's very intense. There are going to be homes that are in danger. I've now seen that. Go ahead, William.
Okay, Mike, I know your audio is a little bit in and out there, so we're going to kind of stick with your shot. If you can, try and get us a different shot. I know you're just repositioning there just a little bit as well. I want to do this. We're going to talk again with Derek Machaney momentarily. Derek Machaney is also out there as well. And like I said, folks, just kind of bear with us a little bit. Again, the video kind of moves and then stalls just a little bit. And again, the main reason for that is these guys are so rural, just like their cell phone service is a little bit in and out there as well. What I want to do, I want to give an overview here on radar just to kind of show where we're talking about. Mike, and as soon as you're back on the live line, we're going to jump right back to you. So we'll give you just a second there. So these are the two fires that we've been tracking here for probably the last 2 hours. So one of them in Oklahoma City proper, East Hefner Road, that one is tamped down. It's under control. That's the one Aaron's been on. Mike Russ, Derek Machaney, they've been on this fire now for probably the last hour and a half or so, south of Calumet, south of I-40. And again, you can see the smoke plume there on really the southerly winds lifting to the north there. And we've had some fairly dramatic video from Mike coming in on this fire. And in fact, even had some sideways blowing embers and smoke. That was probably 15 minutes ago now. And again, just to kind of illustrate again the potential with this fire, again, you're actually seeing the dust and even the trees here that are moving again in those Oklahoma winds today. I don't have to tell you, the winds today are gusting 20, 30, and 40 miles per hour, and that wind is energizing these fires. So it's giving them the spread potential of, 20, 30, 40 miles per hour downstream from the south to the north. And then also those embers, those little particulates that are basically being blown up in the fire and downstream, those also have the ability to spread the fire even faster as well. So Mike, it looks like your video is really kicking back in now. I know you're trying to get a shot again for us of the fire because we've lost that. Hopefully you're back on the live line with us now. Give us an update, and if you're on the live line with us, and tell us again what's going on out there right now.
Yes, William. Again, I'm going to be just south of the Maple School. Part of the reason why they're calling it the Maple Fire right now. Right now, because of it being in a valley, there's one road that we can get good shots on, but there's really no service on it, and we're having a lot of difficulties here navigating around this fire because it is in such a valley right now. But there are homes that are going to be threatened by this fire. I noticed Canadian County was already starting to alert some of these homes as to, be ready to evacuate. This fire, I don't see any containment whatsoever on it, William. In fact, I had to back out because I got too close to the fire and my truck started overheating. And so that'll tell you how powerful this fire is. It's creating its own wind out here, William. I mean, this is a very, very intense fire. Also, if you're familiar with the Calumet area, we also have another little danger aspect here. I'm kind of set up in a spot with Weatherford Fire Department right now. They've come out here to assist as well, but they're out here to protect an oil well area here, William. And there's multiple oil well areas or oil well sites in this area. So the fire departments have a lot on their hands out here, guys.
Mike, Russ, really appreciate that update there. We're looking at your live video coming in here as well. And we've also got Derek Mashaney, and we're going to be checking back in with him. He's also out there in that same general area, just a different vantage point of the fire. In fact, let's go and check his video coming in here as well. And so Mike had some quite vivid video of what was going on there a few minutes ago. Mike, I don't know if you're able to do anything at all with your shot right now. It might just kind of be stuck there. But again, we'll be checking back in with Mike coming up here momentarily, and also Derek Mashaney as well. Again, just to kind of give an overview of exactly where this fire is. Again, it's out there in Canadian County. You see Mike's red dot and that smoke plume coming up. Again, this is west of the Oklahoma City Metro, the western portions of Canadian County. And again, this is now being called the Maple Fire out there. And I believe the reason for that is Mike said there's actually a school out there that is named Maple. And so again, this is being called the Maple Fire. The Department of Forestry now also calling in an aerial aircraft to come in and do some type of a water or some type of a fire retardant drop on this fire as well. So again, right now, Mike, are you able to do anything with your shot at all? I know the thing that we're kind of battling out there is that again, they're so rural. So as they get a little bit closer to the fire, talking about our storm trackers, they lose signal, and then we're really not able to show any video. So it's kind of one of those catch-22 things. But Mike, let me know if you're able to get any closer, get a different shot there of any kind. And also, we've got Derek Mashaney back on the live line. Derek, you're also on this fire. Tell us exactly where you are. We're going to check your video and give us a live update as well.
Yeah, so I'm on South Ranch Road. I'm actually fixing to turn around in just a moment. I stopped and talked to Coker Fire Department, and they said they actually had to put where this fire originally started at. They had to put it out twice because the wind was so heavy, and they're still actually initially battling this area where it originally started at because it is overlaid with cedar trees, and so I know that this is causing them a lot of issues with the wind and the way that things are kind of outplaying today. And so, they've got a multi-county task force out here. They are working their hardest to initially get this fire put out. And there's areas where it is contained, but it is still a large grass fire. And also on request from emergency personnel, they are asking people to not drive down here as it is causing hazardous conditions where you're not able to actually see the road. Where you're not able to see the road due to the fact that the smoke is so heavy on the highways. And so they're asking people that are just coming out here to look at it. That's fine, but look at it from a long distance. Don't come up where they're actually working at, as it's creating a dangerous situation for them and the people that are driving around.
Okay, okay, really appreciate that update there, Derek Machete. It looks like Mike is kind of repositioned, and again, he's gotten as close as he can. And when I say as close as he can, it's because as it gets too close, again, this fire is kind of down in the valley, he loses his connection. He loses his cell phone service, and his video freezes. So he's kind of gone as far as he can, as close as he can, to keep the video moving fluid. And you can see it right there. Mike, you're still on the live line. Again, for the folks just now joining us on Oklahoma Weather Tracker TV, 20 minutes ago, you were right there in the flames. You had the sideways blowing embers and smoke. It was very ominous looking video. And again, like I said, you then lost signal. You had to kind of back out a little bit. So we're now looking at this a little bit from a distance, but again, you can still see the smoke plume right there. So Mike, as we're looking at this, go ahead and give us a live update here. And Mike, if you're still on the live line, go ahead and go. Again, I know you're getting rural again. We may have lost your cell phone signal there momentarily, but it looks like you're still on the live line. If you're able to hear me, go ahead and give us an update on the fire. Okay, so we're going to kind of keep working with Mike. And again, this is kind of one of the things we're having to work through with this fire here specifically. And Derek, we're going back to your video because you've actually got a cow on the road. You've got a cow, and I know your video's this delayed just a few seconds, but you saw that right there. That was tagged, so he got out from somebody's land. But you actually had a cow there in the road. We're just now seeing that on your video. Tell us about that real quick while we're getting Mike back on the live line. But we saw that was a tagged cow there. Give us an update.
Yeah, so there was a cow in the middle of the road. We've also been trying to herd him out of the way, just due to the fact that he's kind of creating a nuisance for the people trying to drive around. But this fire, it's still burning, and it's still burning hard.
I think we've done this, Derek, and I hate to interrupt you. I really apologize. I just want to get back to Mike because he's right there. And again, we're just having to kind of take the cell phone signal as we get it. And I think right now we've got it, so let's take it. Mike, you're live. Go ahead and give us an update.
Yes, William, I apologize for that. I had to step out. I was talking to the Weatherford Fire Department out here. Excuse me while I adjust my shot. But yes, William, they're saying they don't see any containment on this either right now. We do know for sure that forestry is coming, I believe from the north, from the Woodward fire right now. But again, this is a very intense fire, William. Homes are in danger out here. I've already seen Canadian County starting to pull into homes and alert homes well to the north that, be ready, get ready for evacuation if it is deemed necessary. But again, William, where we're at, there's a lot of oil wells in this area right here that are going to be in danger of this fire as well. So this is a very, very intense, dangerous situation, William.
No, absolutely, Mike. And again, your video is it's only giving it so much justice again from what we had maybe 10 to 20 minutes ago when you were a little bit closer. But again, I just want to keep prefacing the reason why we had to back out a little bit from the fire. And Mike, our senior storm tracker, did lots of experience doing this. It's because he lost signal, he lost service, and so we were not able to actually show you what's going on. And so he kind of backed out. So now we're kind of having to look at this from a little bit of a distance, again, only because this fire is down in a bit of a valley. And as the storm trackers get down in there, they kind of lose service, but not a good situation. So this is south of Calumet. You're looking at Mike's live GPS location here. This would be I-40. And again, this fire, the origination point just south of I-40. And again, that's where Mike is looking at it. Now it is lifting to the north. Again, it's still out of control. We have no numbers as to how large this fire is, but again, our senior storm tracker who's been doing this for years and years, he is saying that there are some homes that are threatened by this fire. And again, as he was just talking with the emergency crews there, again, they're also telling him right now they do not see any containment on this fire at all. The Department of Forestry, they have called in some air resources to do some type of dumps on this fire, whether it's water, fire retardant, whatever it is. So that should be, happening probably within the next hour or so as well. And then the other information that we also have just now coming in, and again, the other information is what we already knew, that again, they're now calling this the Maple Fire. They're calling this the Maple Fire now, south of Calumet. So we're still looking at Mike's shot. Mike, I don't know if you can maybe move that shot just back to the right just a little bit, or you might be repositioning there completely. So let's do this. Let's go back to Mike. He's there, and he's essentially been on this fire the entire time. And like I said, the deal with this fire is we don't have a lot of information to pass moment by moment. Again, when Aaron was on the fire in Oklahoma City earlier today, the information was flowing just a little bit quicker. Now, this fire is a little more rural, so again, we don't necessarily have fast changing information, but again, we're just kind of taking this as it comes into us. And again, Mike, you're right there, but again, this smoke plume, again, really moving from south to north on those gusty southerly winds. I mean, you can just see how dark it even looks out there with that large smoke plume. So Mike, you're still on the live line with us. We're taking this minute by minute. Tell us again exactly where you are and give us a live update on this now, what's being called the Maple Fire.
Yes, William. I'm going to be just south of the Maple School out here in Canadian County. But yes, William, in fact, where I'm at, bear with me, ladies and gentlemen, because you're going to see it coming through here. They have very little containment on this, if any at all, right now, and this fire is coming right through this valley. Very intense flames as they hit these cedar trees. This valley is full of oak, cedar trees, maple trees. This thing is just a match out here, William. So this valley is getting completely obliterated by this fire right now. And with these gusty winds, it's not helping the situation at all. We're watching even some other aircraft out here that are even fighting the wind up elevated. So this is a very intense situation. This fire is not going to be going anywhere anytime soon. The only thing we can hope for is that the winds come down this evening and they can get some containment on it. Because right now, William, we've got fire departments staged even because it's going so fast. We've got fire departments staged in preparation for the fire to get to them. And it's not taking very long on for some of these departments, William. There are departments from all over the state right now that have come out here. Again, this is a very intense fire, very hot. It's almost making its own wind gusts in there. William, I can tell you when I was inside the fire line itself, those winds were gusting well over what we're seeing via the mezzanette site. So if you're seeing wind gusts of 40, William, those wind gusts were doing 65, 70 inside that fire line.
No,
so creating its own type of weather, William.
It absolutely. I wish we could re-rack that video from about 30 minutes ago. It was absolutely incredible. As you again, we're right there in that fire line, and again, it was sideways blowing smoke and embers and particulates. And again, it's every bit of what you would expect, again, as you're right there. Because again, these fires, they do create their own thermals, and they do kind of help to maximize the wind flow through there. So what Mike is saying, when he's saying those winds were probably 60 miles per hour as he was right there in the fire line, I mean, he's right on the money with it. And again, he's not just saying it. We actually had it live here on Oklahoma Weather Tracker TV. I mean, just absolutely incredible video. The problem is we then lost signal. We couldn't in that kind of in the valley where the fire is, we can't keep the signal with his video and his cell phone service going. So that's why he's kind of had to back out. We're kind of getting a different perspective from the fire now. Derek Mashaney, I think we've lost him. He's also there. We're going to check in with him momentarily as well. I want to leave this video up, but I want to talk quickly about the fire in Oklahoma City. I think Aaron is still on the live line around the East Hefner Road. And as far as we know, Aaron, that is completely tamped down now. And again, that was a fire we were covering before this fire a little bit earlier this afternoon. But again, not to confuse the two fires, the one on East Hefner Road in Oklahoma City, give us a quick update on that fire. But again, with all the latest information we have, and again, what you're reporting, that fire is now completely under control, and there's maybe just a couple hot spots left. Is that right?
Yes, William, that's correct. They're actually starting to send some of the main fire departments back out, back to the station. So there's a couple more of the volunteer firefighters still staged over here to our north. But other than that, again, like you just said, the fire is contained. They're just trying to put out the rest of the hot spots that they have here. But other than that, they did a really great job today trying to get this fire under control, which they finally did get under control, and it did not cross over East Hefner Road, which that's kind of the concern that we had before, that it was going to cross over. But now that, we've been here for quite some time, and we've been watching it and listening to the different scanners, they're confident that they've got it all out except for just the hot spots. So that's what we're looking at right now. The Oklahoma City Police is still here blocking East Hefner Road and North Kelly Road. Some of the people have been trying to go through North Kelly Road as the police officer is blocking it. So anybody that is going to try to go through there, you're not going to get let through there unless you are an emergency vehicle, and you have some proof that you are, if you're not in a fire truck. Other than that, you're not going to be able to get through there. So, William, back to you.
Okay, Aaron, really appreciate that update. And again, not to confuse the two fires. Again, Aaron's talking about the fire that we had in Oklahoma City. Again, just showing you on Mesoscan radar, again, the two separate fires that we're talking about. The one that Aaron was just now talking about, that is tamped down and contained, the one here in Oklahoma City. So that one is now under control, completely gone, a couple of hot spots left. The other fire that we're now tracking carefully with Mike Russ and also with Derek Mashaney, that's out there in Canadian County. And again, you can see that one there, south of Calumet, south of I-40. And again, this is the video of that fire there. And again, that fire now in Canadian County, that is now being called the Maple Fire. And again, the Department of Forestry, they've now called in some aerial assets on this fire. So in other words, there's going to be a plane or some type of something that comes in. I'm taking it's going to be a plane, not necessarily a helicopter, that's going to do some type of a dump on this, whether it's a water dump or some type of fire retardant. We should be seeing something in regards to that probably here over about the next hour or so. But again, that was called in on this fire. Again, our team of trackers is there. Mike Russ, Derek Mashaney, we're going to talk to both of them. The perspective on this fire is a little bit different. Our guys had to kind of back away from it a little bit. If you were joining us maybe 45 minutes ago, fairly dynamic video coming in from Mike Russ, but the problem is this is so rural that we were not able to keep the cell phone signal, the video flowing in. It became too intermittent. So they've kind of backed up now. That way we can at least keep the video coming in. You can see this large smoke plume there lifting up, again, blowing from the south to the north on this fire. But Mike, you're still on the live line here with us. Go ahead and tell us again where you are and kind of give us an update on this fire. Again, you're out there live on the scene.
Yes, William, I am out here on the scene.
We got you.
right
We got
now.
you loud. You're a little intermittent. We understand you're kind of rural, but that's all right. Go ahead.
The fire departments have just moved.
Well, we may have lost you. It may be just a little too hit and miss. And again, that's going to be just a little bit of the problem we're dealing with out here. We kind of get their service and then their signal, then we kind of lose it. So it's going to kind of bounce in and out just a little bit. But let's try it one more time, Mike. We had you going pretty good a few minutes ago. Let's see what we can do now.
Okay, do you hear me now, William?
Yeah, it's probably a little too intermittent. You may have to back out of there or do a little something there to try and get your service back going. But I mean, we've got you, but we can't really understand what it is that you're saying there. So again, like I said, just kind of bear with us. It's one of those days where, again, when these guys are so rural that, again, if there's no cell phone towers around, there's no cell phone towers around, and they're doing the best they can to kind of keep this connection, if you will, going, and their signal, if you will, going here as well. So Mike, we're still looking at your video. Your video is still flowing. Let's try this one more time. Let's go and try and make contact here again.
Okay, do you have me now, William?
Yeah, I think we've got you now, Mike. Go ahead.
Okay. Yes, William, the fire departments have all moved out of
Okay, well, we're going to check back with Mike coming up here momentarily. Like I said, he's just kind of doing the best that he can. Here's what we're going to do. So we've essentially been on here for probably about the last hour and a half, kind of in continuous coverage mode. And so what we're going to do, we're going to give our storm trackers here kind of an opportunity to kind of regroup, obviously get their cell phone service there figured out as well. And we're going to come back and talk to them coming up here in just a few minutes. We're going to take a quick break here as well. Again, like I said, since we've been on here for about an hour and a half. So keep it here with Oklahoma Weather Tracker TV. At the top of the hour, we'll be right back with continuous fire weather coverage right here on Oklahoma Weather Tracker TV.